The current negativity in the Sea of Thieves community is not primarily due to the recent events of Season 14 or the ongoing instability issues that arise with each game update. Although those factors certainly haven't helped, the root cause lies elsewhere. For a new player just starting out in the game, the world of Sea of Thieves is filled with a sense of wonder, a massive storyline to explore, world events to tackle, and trading companies to level up. These new players are often too preoccupied with the excitement of discovery to notice the underlying technical issues like instability or performance problems. This honeymoon period is a common experience when first starting any game, where the initial joy and the fascination overshadows any flaws or shortcomings. While recently many of us have grown increasingly frustrated, the root cause of this problem does not lie in the performance issues or a failure to maintain the expected update schedule. Rather, the underlying cause stems from elsewhere. Sea of Thieves has struggled with its update cadence for a long time now. While this game offers an expansive array of content that is enticing for new players, those who have been playing for over a year have started to notice a distinct pattern in the updates. The major content updates, such as the Forsaken Shores, Anniversary Update, The Pirate's Life, generate significant hype and excitement. However, the periods between these marquee updates are filled with minor quality-of-life-focused updates, patches like Season 5, 9, and 11. This pattern, of course, is not unique to Sea of Thieves. Many games alternate between large, flashy updates and smaller, more quality-of-life ones. The difference is that the Sea of Thieves major updates often feel shallow, with the hype and the anticipation overshadowing the actual content delivered. In summary, the game has struggled to maintain a consistent, satisfying update cycle, alternating between highly publicized but shallow content drops and more incremental improvements. This has left some veteran players feeling underwhelmed, despite the game's overall wealth of material. For example, while the expansive world and lore of The Pirate's Life is impressive, it ultimately provides only a weekend's worth of entertainment as an online service game. After completing the Tall Tales, there is little to actually do in the main game world. Hourglass Season 8 features on-demand PvP, but with an unlock system that heavily favors players who invest large amounts of time, offering little to keep most players engaged from levels 1 to 100. As a result, hardly anyone plays Hourglass, and the queues can go on for hours at some times. The Skull of Siren Song update, a competitive voyage, provided little incentive for players to complete it, resulting in the update's rapid demise after implementation. The Captaincy update offered a new way to track players' in-game accomplishments, but 70% of the time, the system remains non-functional. The only real incentive is collecting trinkets, which, ironically, impacts the game's performance. Guilds, a new social system allowing players to create their own factions and level up with friends and acquaintances. But it's largely antisocial, offering no engaging way to establish a guild. Even when a guild is formed, the only rewards are a few cosmetic items, including a ship set that less than 0.02% of the player base owns. In fact, our 25-player guild has yet to even unlock the sale for this ship set. And, let's be completely honest, it's not a great ship set. The game is in a constant state of flux. The Anniversary Update introduced a new PvP mode, which was initially well received, but it was never significantly updated, leading to a dwindling player base and performance issues. The failure of Arena Mode was not due to the toxic nature of its players or a lack of participation, but rather a lack of focus on expanding the underlying mechanics. The addition of Tall Tales and time-limited adventures was intended to provide players with more insight into the game's lore, but the storylines were fragmented and lacked a cohesive episodic approach, which confused the player base and diminished the sense of excitement. The developers believed the time-limited nature was the issue, and although that was a problem, the reality was the players felt the stories were disjointed and raised more questions than they answered. And despite promises of a dynamically changing world as a result of the players' actions, the only visible changes were a beautiful but largely useless port, a scorch mark at Shipwreck's Bay, and a painting at Reaper's Hideout. Hardly the sweeping, transformative impact that was promised. The development focus of Sea of Thieves seems to shift erratically. Just as players become accustomed to the update rhythm, it often feels as though the developers, not the player base, grow bored and abruptly change the direction, leaving the players unsettled and unsure of what to expect next. The constant shifting of focus, the retreat when things don't go as planned, and the lack of commitment to the longevity of their additions have led us to our current predicament. On top of these issues, the poor performance, server instability, and the inadequate bug tracking are the final blows to an already problematic situation. The negative sentiment surrounding Sea of Thieves is not solely due to performance issues and inadequate bug testing, but a culmination of problems that have plagued the game from the start. The developers need to take a step back, reevaluate their priorities, and deliver meaningful updates if they hope to salvage this potentially wonderful game world. I'm optimistic that they will, but the time for words is over. As I've stated before, now is the time for action. To the developers, you have created a captivating world in Sea of Thieves, where players can have a truly unique experience. They can meet friends and foes, embark on thrilling adventures, and explore a beautiful, wonder-filled realm with engaging storylines and experiences. This world allows players, whether allies or adversaries, to come together and largely enjoy a great experience. But your players feel left in the dark, uncertain of your development priorities and future plans. The constant shift in your focus, which you may believe keeps players on their toes and heightens excitement, are instead creating confusion and driving people away. This has little to do with the game's performance or bugs. What your players want is for you to get back into the rhythm of delivering the experiences they desire, not just what you think they want. Please take this feedback to heart and save the magic of Sea of Thieves. So, yeah, I promise I'll be more positive in the next video.